Hey everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today's look is going to be a kind of half cut crease that's quite dramatic but also really pretty. So I've already primed and moisturised my face, and I'm going in and doing my brows. This is the brow palette from my website. This is what I use all the time to do my brows. I find it literally gives the perfect finish, and I'm using a liner shader brush. I'm then going in with the Collection 2000 concealer, and I'm using the applicator to go underneath my brows. I've also added a little bit of the concealer from my website just for the coverage. I find the Collection 2000 concealer is great for sort of the way it's set, so it's great as a base. However, it's not great coverage, so if you may need slightly more coverage. So once I've done that using the applicator, I'm going in with a small brush just to make that really defined on the brow and setting that concealer with a beauty blender. Sometimes I do add a little bit of setting powder, but normally it's not too bad. So I'm going in with the Kylie bronze palette, and I'm using this colour. This is the cream shade in that palette, and I honestly use that for everything. I feel like if you do have the same skin tone as me, this is the perfect shade, or this kind of colour, for the base of your eye. So I'm going in with this palette from my website and going into the purple shade called Alluring, and I'm going in to my crease and I'm building this colour up. As you notice, I don't use a transition anymore. I've been following P. Louise and MMM Mitchell on Instagram, and they never use transitions, so they go in straight away. So that's kind of what I've been following. So I've put on that shimmer onto the lid, and then I'm going in with this darker shade with a Morphe 79 brush, I think, which is basically a small little crease brush, which is perfect for the crease of your eye. I'm also using that same colour and that same brush on the bottom lashes, and keeping it quite like really close to my lash line without bringing it down too far. So using this really small brush here, I'm going in with a little bit of concealer and sort of making that crease really neat and more in line with my eye socket. But so you can see it slightly, because my eyes are slightly hooded, so I have gone a little bit higher, but just to make that cut crease really neat, and yeah. So once I've done the eyes, I'm going in with, this is actually from Primark. These are my micellar water pads, and I've just folded it and using it under the eye. You can always put your acrylic nail or a nail in under the pad, so you get a really sharp line, but I like to just fold it and it makes the same effect. So I'm just applying some black eyeshadow along the lash line to make it all look even, and this is the finished eye look before we go onto the face. So I do both eyes before the face, just stops any fallout, and you can get it all neat and you don't have to mess up. So I'm going in with some concealer. This is the concealer from my website, but I am using the a different spatula, so it comes in a tube, and I'm just using another applicator to apply that. I'm applying it under the eyes, leaving obviously the rest of my face for the foundation, which is also from my website, and I'm applying it with a blank canvas F20 brush. I find that this gives a really flawless and great finish, and yeah, it's one of my favourite brushes to use. I find it just blends everything together really well. So yeah, I also would recommend, if you do use a beauty blender, I'd recommend the Fenty Beauty one. I don't normally use a beauty blender to apply my foundation. However, I find that Fenty Beauty one is really good, so I would recommend that. So once I've done that and kind of blended that foundation all over my face, I do spend a while doing that. That's how I find I get the most flawless look out of it. I go in with the beauty blender just to blend under the eye, because I like it to just kind of blend. I don't want it to be an actual line there. So once I've done that and put setting powder on with the setting powder brush, I have gone in and blended that out a little bit more to just kind of make it not so like a real strict line. So onto the contour, I'm using the bronzer from Tarte, and then I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour palette. I've then used some setting powder underneath to just clean up them areas. This highlight is called Benevolent, which I can never say, but it's from my website. I will link obviously the information below. And yeah, so I'm just finishing off with highlight. I'm also going to put it on the on my nose, bridge of my nose, and the cupid's bow, which is probably one of my favourite places to put highlight. I think it's really, really flattering, and just finishes the makeup look. So for the lips, I'm going with a nude shade. I found it really difficult to match with this eye look, just because the eyeshadow was a real baby pink, and it wouldn't match to any of the baby pink colours that I had, so I've kind of made the best of what I could. So I'm going on with this lip liner called Pouty, which is a bestseller from my website, and then I'm going in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in Milkshake, and as you can see, the baby pink shades were just so hard to match. This is the closest I could get, and everything else just wasn't, like, I just didn't like the way it looked. So I've applied that kind of almost in an ombre type style, and I'm using my finger just to blend into the outer corners. I have then applied a lip gloss just to make that colour a little bit more pinky and match my eyes a little bit more, but like I said, I had a lot of trouble. So yeah, this is the finished look. I really hope you like this look. I absolutely loved it, actually. If you liked this look or recreated it, and please let me know. I've posted all my social medias down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.